Hey there YouTube, I just wanted to post a quick follow-up to my last video. There was some comments about using what's labeled as GPIO2 here on the back of the board is GPIO2, and it is a GPIO. You can definitely use it. Fair warning, not just fair warning, but prudent warning. Anytime you're dealing with mains voltage, you gotta exercise the highest caution. So please, if you are not familiar or comfortable with mains voltage, don't do, just take best practices. So what I have here is I have power coming in. It's not currently plugged in. And the output is coming out to the socket here, which I have plugged into my lights. And I have GPIO2 going to one side of the switch, and the other side is going to ground on the board here. So if I plug this in while the switch is in the off position, we can see that when I flip the switch, the lights turn on. Voila! And the switch works as anticipated. I have Tasmoda on the board here, and I'm using a generic profile with GPIO2 is the switch, and GPIO12 as the relay. So now let's unplug it. And we're going to turn the switch into the on position. What that means is that GPIO2 is being grounded. So when I plug it in here, I'll give it a second to boot up, and we're going to flip the switch, and nothing happens. Because as it was pointed out in the programming, or as it was pointed out in the comments of my last video, when you ground GPIO2 during boot up, it causes the chip to enter programming mode. So, bottom line is that GPIO2 is much easier to solder. I just put a little blob on there, and I was able to get the lead attached really simply. It's much easier than getting, if we can get this to focus, getting the solder directly to the GPIO 4 pin on the chip. If you're going to use like a temporary, normally open push button, using GPIO2 is great. If you're going to use it for something other than a switch, then GPIO2 is great. If you're going to use it for a standard toggle switch, or just any sort of toggle switch, you're probably still going to want to go to GPIO4 on the front. It's a little harder to solder, but I've used it on a number of switches so far, and it works as long as you're careful. So that's all I really wanted to go over, and I hope it helps some people out. Happy hacking.